Hogwarts. You probably know that Hogwarts was founded in the 10th century by 4 legendary witches and wizards: Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin. You've likely heard of the Sorting Hat ceremony too, where new students are placed into Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin, each house reflecting the values of its founder. That rivalry has defined student life for over 1,000 years. But what you might not know is just how extraordinary the castle itself is. Hogwarts is unplottable, meaning it cannot be found on any map, and appears as ruins to muggles who get too close. Inside, staircases move at will, doors refuse to open unless approached correctly, and hidden chambers like the Room of Requirement reveal themselves only in times of need. The enchanted ceiling of the Great Hall mirrors the sky outside, while the castle hides so many passageways that no one, not even the Marauders or Dumbledore, fully mapped them all. At full capacity, Hogwarts is home to about 1,000 students, with roughly 40 new first-year sorted each fall. Students share the grounds not only with professors, but also with ghosts, enchanted portraits that wander from frame to frame, and Peeves, the resident poltergeist who thrives on chaos. House elves work tirelessly in the kitchens, conjuring the banquets that appear in the Great Hall, meals that shift with the seasons and mark every major celebration. The academic load is demanding, 5 or 6 classes per day, sometimes with double periods in potions or defense against the dark arts. Failure isn't rare. Neville Longbottom nearly repeated his first year, and major exams like OWLs and NEWTs determine a student's career path. Despite this, tuition is free, covered by the Ministry of Magic, making Hogwarts accessible to every magical child in Britain and Ireland. Tradition drives everything. The House Cup and Quidditch Cup fuel endless rivalries, while Wizards chess, gobstones, and dueling clubs give students more ways to prove themselves. And of course, the alumni speak for themselves. Albus Dumbledore, Lord Voldemort, Minerva McGonagall, Harry Potter, each shaped the wizarding world in ways that still echo today. To walk the halls of Hogwarts is to step into living history, in a castle that is as mysterious as it is legendary. Ilvermorny. You probably know Ilvermorny as the American Hogwarts, the great school of magic perched atop Mount Greylock in Massachusetts. Founded in the 17th century, it began as a simple stone cottage and, over time, grew into a castle, rivaling its European counterparts in size and prestige. The story begins with Isolde Sayre, a descendant of Salazar Slytherin, who fled Ireland to escape persecution, and her no-match husband, James Stewart. Together they created a safe haven for magical children of all backgrounds, mixing European spellcasting with traditions inspired by Native American communities. James himself crafted the first wands for Ilvermorny students, and this connection to American wand lore became part of the school's legacy. The school sorts its students into 4 houses named after creatures from North American legend: Thunderbird for adventurers, Wampus for warriors, Horned Serpent for scholars, and Puckwudgie for healers. The sorting ceremony is unlike any other. In the entrance hall, 4 statues wait in silence until one, or sometimes several, respond. A Thunderbird may beat its wings, a Horned Serpent's crystal may glow, or a Puckwudgie may raise its spear. If more than one house calls, the final choice rests with the student, making it the only school where the decision is shared. Ilvermorny's culture reflects its origins: inclusive, frontier-minded, and shaped by a blend of traditions. Students travel to the school by broomstick, enchanted creatures, or magical vehicles, depending on their heritage and location. Tuition policy has never been officially detailed by J.K. Rowling or Wizarding World, but Ilvermorny was founded as an inclusive school open to all magical children, regardless of bloodline. Among its most notable alumni are Chadwick and Webster Boot, the adopted sons of Isolde Sayre, whose spellwork and textbooks defined much of magical education across America. For students who climb Mount Greylock, Ilvermorny offers not just lessons in magic, but a vision of unity, an education built from many traditions, carried forward as one. Beauxbatons. You probably know this school because of Fleur de la Cour, the Triwizard champion who shone in Goblet of Fire. In the films, Beauxbatons was presented as an all-girls academy, marching into Hogwarts with elegance and grace. But in the books, that's a myth. Beauxbatons is co-ed, with both male and female students. Its reputation for refinement left such an impression that many fans still picture it otherwise. Hidden in the French Pyrenees, Beauxbatons Academy of Magic is one of the oldest schools in the world, believed to be more than 7 centuries old. From a distance, the place gleams in sunlight, appearing almost like crystal or glass. Inside, enchanted statues advise students, while dining halls sparkle like a palace of ice, blending art and magic seamlessly. The academy is famous for its emphasis focus on elegance, health, and discipline. Meals are carefully crafted to be both delicious and balanced. And it's often said that Beauxbatons alumni live longer, healthier lives thanks to their refined diet and lifestyle. Unlike Hogwarts, which draws only from Britain and Ireland, Beauxbatons accepts students from across Western Europe, creating a cosmopolitan atmosphere. The curriculum highlights spellwork, healing, and elemental magic, producing graduates admired not only for skill, but also for poise. The school works closely with the French Ministry of Magic, maintaining its status as a cultural and political hub, as much as an academic one. From Nicolas Flamel, the legendary alchemist, to Fleur Delacour, who fought bravely at the Battle of Hogwarts. Beauxbatons has shaped witches and wizards whose legacies combine artistry with power. To study here is to learn magic as elegance, precision, and endurance. Uagadou. If your magical journey began in Africa, your invitation would come in the most unusual way. Instead of an owl, Uagadou students receive theirs through a dream messenger, an enchanted figure that appears in sleep and leaves behind a stone token in the child's hand. No parchment, no quill, but the meaning is unmistakable. You have been chosen. Uagadou is the largest wizarding school in the world, carved directly into the rock of the Mountains of the Moon in Uganda. From a distance, it often appears like drifting cloud or mist, but those who enter walk through vast courtyards of stone, open-air classrooms, and celestial observatories where astronomy is studied under the clearest skies on Earth. Founded over 1,000 years ago, it has trained generations of witches and wizards from across the continent, and is recognized by the International Confederation of Wizards as one of the most prestigious institutions in history. The curriculum is unlike any other. Wands are seen as tools, not necessities. Students master magic first through gesture, word, and willpower. Only later are wands introduced, and by then control is already unmatched. Specialties include astronomy, alchemy, transfiguration, and elemental magic, areas in which Uagadou excels beyond most of its peers. The school is particularly famous for producing animagi. In Europe, it can take years to master the transformation into an animal, but here it is almost expected of advanced students, and tales of African animagi have become legend across the wizarding world. Life at Uagadou is strict but inspiring. Students live at high altitude above the clouds in an environment that demands resilience. Their robes, woven with local magic, even adapt to the climate and energy of the wearer. Admission depends only on magical potential, not bloodline or wealth, ensuring the school remains a beacon of fairness as vast as the continent it serves. Durmstrang. Most fans encountered Durmstrang through Viktor Krum, the famed Bulgarian seeker who marched into Hogwarts for the Triwizard Tournament. In the films, the school was portrayed as an all-boys academy, storming in with fur-lined cloaks and sparks flying. But in the books, that's a myth. Durmstrang is co-ed. Its reputation for severity and its connection to dark magic simply overshadow the details. Hidden somewhere in the far north, most believe in Scandinavia or the Baltic states, Durmstrang is veiled by enchantments that keep it invisible to outsiders. The castle itself is a stark fortress, perched among icy lakes and mountains, reflecting the environment around it, cold, disciplined, and unforgiving. Founded in the 13th century, the institute is infamous for being the only wizarding school to formally teach the dark arts themselves, not just defense against them. But that is only part of its martial curriculum. Students are trained rigorously in combat magic, dueling, and endurance, combining spellwork with physical conditioning. The student body is smaller than at Hogwarts or Beauxbatons, but far more regimented. Muggle-borns are not admitted, reinforcing Durmstrang's reputation for elitism. Discipline is strict, winters brutal, and many students remain until 18 or 19 before earning the right to graduate. Quidditch thrives here too, with teams famous for their aggressive, militaristic style. The school has produced some of the most infamous wizards in history. Gellert Grindelwald studied here before being expelled for dangerous magical experiments. Igor Karkaroff, a former Death Eater, once served as headmaster. And of course, Viktor Krum proved that Durmstrang's harsh training could forge champions as well as villains. Mahoutokoro. Among all wizarding schools, none carry a warning as visible as Mahoutokoro. Every student here wears an enchanted robe that grows with them from childhood to graduation. The garment begins pale pink, deepens through richer shades as magical mastery develops, and only when it shines gold is a witch or wizard considered fully trained. But there is one dreaded change. If the robe turns white, it reveals that the student has broken magical law or turned to dark practices. Expulsion is immediate, and the disgrace is permanent. Mahoutokoro is one of the oldest magical academies in existence, carved from the white jade on the volcanic cliffs of Minami Iwo Jima. By moonlight, the palace glows above the sea, a beacon for those arriving by enchanted storm petrels, magical seabirds that carry younger pupils to and from the island until they board full-time at age 11. Discipline is the defining trait. Students begin formal studies at 7, learning magical theory, astronomy, and precision wandwork before advancing into more complex spellcraft. Quidditch is a national obsession here. Training is so rigorous that many of Japan's top players are drawn directly from Mahoutokoro, fueling one of the strongest teams in the world. The school maintains close ties with the Japanese Ministry of Magic, reinforcing its reputation for strict standards and honor. Graduates leave not only as highly skilled witches and wizards, but as disciplined practitioners of integrity and restraint. At Mahoutokoro, magic is not only knowledge, it is character. Castelobruxo. Deep within the Amazon rainforest stands Castelobruxo, the great magical school of South America. To Muggle eyes, it looks like nothing more than a ruined stone temple, overgrown and forgotten. To those invited, enchantments fall away, revealing a fortress of golden stone that blends into the jungle, its walls shifting as if alive. Castelobruxo predates European colonization, its foundations rooted in indigenous magical traditions. Architecture here reflects that blend, corridors that adapt to the forest, breathing walls, and defensive enchantments tied to elemental forces of the land. The Amazon itself is the classroom. Students specialize in herbology, magizoology, and potions, studying rare flora and fauna in their natural habitat. This education has produced some of the world's most accomplished magizoologists and potion makers, names often cited in wizarding research. Students' life is guarded by capora, mischievous spirit-like beings who prowl the grounds. Protective yet playful, they delight in punishing rule breakers, sometimes by appearing at the edge of a bed after a failed midnight escape. Uniforms are enchanted green robes designed for the rainforest's humidity. Castelobruxo accepts students from across South America and maintains ties with magical governments in Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia. To study here is to live inside one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, where survival, symbiosis, and magic are inseparable. Koldovstaretz remains one of the most mysterious wizarding schools. Believed to date back to medieval times, its exact location has never been revealed. Some accounts suggest it shifts from place to place, magically relocating itself every few years to remain hidden from outsiders. Cultural traditions here are heavily influenced by Slavic folklore and shamanistic practices, setting it apart from the more structured European schools. Much of its curriculum is unknown, but it's said to emphasize elemental magic and spiritual rites alongside conventional spellwork. One detail that captures the imagination. Students at Koldovstaretz are reported to play Quidditch not on broomsticks, but on enchanted trees, guiding entire trunks through the air in chaotic matches. Whether entirely true or exaggerated, the story reflects the wild, unconventional reputation the school has earned. For now, much about Koldovstaretz remains speculation. Its secrecy ensures that it retains a legendary status among magical institutions, half school, half myth. The 3 unrevealed schools. Though 8 schools of magic are widely known, J.K. Rowling confirmed that there are 11 in total. That leaves 3 whose names and locations remain deliberately hidden, adding mystery to the global wizarding map. Speculation among fans and scholars alike points to regions rich in magical history. Many believe one lies in India or Nepal, drawing on Vedic traditions and ancient spellcraft. Another is thought to be somewhere in the Middle East, inheriting legacies of alchemy and star-based divination. A third is often imagined in Oceania, where sea-based magic and navigation might form the foundation of its teaching. Rowling has stated only one certainty: every continent has representation. These schools remain unknown, waiting to be revealed in time.